During dinner, while no one was looking, the little girl slipped a dumpling from her plate and tucked it secretly into her pocket. Her dad, sitting right beside her, caught the whole thing. He figured it was just a kid being naughty and was about to gently scold her until the girl looked up at him, dead serious, and said, "This dumpling's for Mom. Dumplings are her favorite, but she hasn't had any in so long." At those words, her grandparents' eyes welled up instantly. Their hearts ached for the girl, and they hurried to tell the housekeeper to pack up all the remaining dumplings. Curious to find out what was really going on, the CEO, the girl's dad, decided to drive her to see this mom she kept talking about. When he followed the girl's directions and saw the familiar yet haggard face behind the iron bars, he froze. He could barely believe his eyes. That was Jia Ying, his wife, the woman he thought had been dead for 6 whole years. He rushed to the window, his voice trembling as he demanded, "Why didn't you die? Why did you hide from me? What happened these 6 years?" It all started 6 years ago. Back then, Jia Ying's parents had just passed away. Her good-for-nothing younger brother, greedy for their family's property, had gone so far as to plot to ruin her reputation. He got Jia Ying dead drunk, but by a twist of fate, he accidentally dumped her in the CEO's hotel room. Coincidentally, the CEO had also been slipped a strong drug by a business rival that night, and Jia Ying ended up being the one who sobered him up. The next morning, the CEO wanted to take responsibility for her, but Jia Ying had brushed him off coldly. "Let's pretend this never happened." The CEO refused to let it go. He'd mobilized all his resources, searched the entire city for a full month, and finally found her at a street food stall. He'd rushed over, trying to pull her home with him, but she'd shoved his hand away. "You've got it wrong. I don't need you," she'd said. In her mind, her family was already a mess. Her parents' bodies hadn't even grown cold, and her brother was lying in wait to steal everything. She felt like she was stuck in quicksand. How could she drag down the CEO, the man who loved her so deeply? Then one day, the CEO saw a news report on TV saying Jia Ying had died from an illness. In that moment, his whole world felt like it collapsed. In his heart, he'd long ago decided Jia Ying was his one and only wife. Every year on her death anniversary after that, he'd show up without fail at her tombstone, carrying flowers to pay his respects. This had driven his parents crazy. Their son was already engaged to the wealthy Qin family's daughter, yet he still couldn't get over his late wife. His mother had no choice but to awkwardly explain to his fiancée, Miss Qin, he's just a loyal guy. She'd also pressed the couple to talk about having kids soon. Ms. Qin had joked in response, "If you want a grandkid that bad, you might as well wish for one to drop out of the sky." No one could have guessed that joke would actually come true. One day, a little girl, soaking wet, suddenly ran up to Jia Ying's tombstone, grabbed the CEO's leg, and yelled, "Daddy! Who are you calling daddy?" he asked, confused. You're my daddy," the girl insisted. The CEO didn't believe her until she pointed at the photo on the tombstone and said, "That's my mom." Before he could process what was happening, a few thugs jumped out from the side, trying to grab the girl. The CEO's father immediately ordered his bodyguards to step in and save her. The CEO thought the whole day's chaos was absurd. He turned around coldly and walked away. But Ms. Qin, looking at the cute little girl, had a thought. She could become a mom without going through pregnancy. She wasted no time arranging a paternity test. When the results came back, the report clearly stated the girl was the CEO's biological daughter. The CEO's parents were over the moon. They'd finally gotten their granddaughter, but then they remembered their son was engaged, and the situation felt awkward. To their surprise, Ms. Qin wasn't upset at all. She was thrilled. She patted the CEO's shoulder and said, "My buddy's got a daughter? That's basically like I've got half a daughter too." Then Ms. Qin dropped an even bigger bombshell. The girl's mom, Jia Ying, she's still alive. It turned out that for the past 6 years, Jia Ying had been locked up and tortured by her monster of a brother. He'd forced her to sign over the family's company shares, but to protect her parents' life's work, she'd deliberately worn down the fingerprints on all 10 of her fingers until they were gone. In a dark room somewhere at that very moment, the little girl was tearfully telling her mom, "Daddy didn't recognize me." Jia Ying held her daughter tightly, her heart breaking. She apologized to the girl while encouraging her, "Don't give up, okay? Daddy's the only one in this world who can protect us." As soon as she finished speaking, that devilish younger brother appeared